Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at another one of my Facebook Marketplace purchases. I got 2 animatronics in one trip, and I'm very excited that they were both carnevil themed, which is my party theme this year. And this guy should be giving you a big hint as to what this product is. You may remember it from the Home Depot walkthroughs we did a couple of years ago. This was one of the, I think, standout pieces of the Home Depot animatronics that year. This is the Jack in the Box. Now, it's really kind of a Jack out of the box because I did not get a box with this purchase. It didn't come with instructions or anything. Fortunately, they do have the instructions online, but we're going to try and piece this thing together. I do know that it works because I saw them test it for me, but I did not see them take it apart. So we are going to have a fun little adventure putting all of these pieces together. Now, we did have, as you just saw, the head, of course. We have a Jack in the Box fabric piece that's part of the Jack in the Box itself. A couple of different arm structures with sleeves. We have a nice big body piece with that coil that makes it look like it's, you know, a Jack in the Box. It's already got the power attached to it, so that's pretty convenient. Couple of costume pieces. We've got a cute little hat here. We got the frill for the head piece. Love these creepy Jack in the Box hands. Skeleton, not really skeleton, actually, it's just actual hands. It's still very creepy because you'll notice it's missing a finger, so it's very monstrous. We'll come back to those in a minute. And then we have the cover for the base of the Jack in the Box. And then we have the parts and pieces to make the box itself, which is what I think we're going to start with today. So it looks like most of these pieces are labeled, of course, on A through whatever. Looks like we've got a pretty hefty base piece, a couple of things here to make the box itself, and then we have some holes to, again, help form the box. So I can only guess that we're going in alphabetical order, starting with B. Let's go ahead and get the box assembled. This base, as I said, is A. Looks like there is one of these push buttons on the front, so I'm looking for the corresponding hole. Obviously, it can only go in one way because the top of this one has that push button as well. The bottom has the hole. Let's go ahead and put it on the base. All right, so I know it's just out of frame, but you saw it. It's actually quite tall. I'm a little surprised. So then we have some C's, and I can only guess as well that they are going to go on these poles on the base. There are 4 of them. There are 4 corners here on the base. They just snap in as well. It looks like it's the same on both ends, so I don't think it matters which side is up or down. Let's go ahead and put these 4 on. All right, so we've got the base coming along. So there are a couple of these hinged pieces, and if I can turn this around, you can kind of see, I know this black makes it very difficult, but there are a couple of cylinders on each of these that it looks like this can slide right into. You probably have to do the bottom first and then the top, but I cannot imagine what that's for. I wonder if we're supposed to put something else on here or if it's just for extra support, which it might very well be because it does have a couple of small supports here welded onto the bottom piece that's all connected. And then this top bar, I guess, since you can't weld it because you have to put that top bar on, that's probably just what it is. I'm guessing it is just support. Now it looks like we have another frame piece, and it also looks like we're going to slide our Jack in the Box. I know I'm jumping ahead. This is actually, I think, labeled I or something. F, I think. But I'm pretty sure since this is G, it slides right over the top of this. And again, I know I'm jumping ahead. This is definitely the back piece for the Jack in the Box, but it's here, and I think it'll give us some inspiration. Because look at that. Look at that. It is coming together. So we got our Jack in the Box back. That means this leftover piece must be for the top. Let me go ahead and move this table out of the way so we can put this together. Next, we're going to put on the top piece. Now, it looks like the top piece has these push buttons as well, so they can only go in one direction on all of these posts. So I'm not worried that I'm getting it wrong front to back. Now, next up, we're going to put on the fabric to cover the base. I wish they were individual panels. This is a little bit bulky and hard to maneuver. One thing I did notice, though, of course, is there are a couple of holes in the fabric where this top piece has to slide through to connect to these slots here on the metal frame. So we've got to make sure those stay in the same direction as the hardware. So let's go ahead and slide this over. There is a hole in the middle for the bar to come through. Let's just see. This is a little bit tight. I think we just have to kind of work it a little bit at a time. And it's kind of easy to get off corner. So we want that seam to be on the corner. So I've got to kind of try and pull this back up and adjust it again. All right there. That took a lot of finessing. I did not realize there's actually this black fabric hangs really down into the box, gives it more of that three-dimensional look, which I was a little worried about when I saw that black fabric. I thought it might be, all the way up, kind of ruining the illusion, but it's not. It's pretty well done. And then the bottom has some Velcro in here as well, so that we can make this fabric stay on pretty taut, but I'm just going to skip that step for the moment and move on to what I assume is putting on the body piece, which would be this mechanism here. Now, I think, I don't know if when you're first assembling this, if you have to install this blue material, the springy effect yourself, or if it comes like that. I think you have to do it yourself, but since mine came like that, I'm not going to demonstrate how that's done. That might be a bit of a challenge. But the bar itself, again, is going to snap onto this central bar. There's only one way it can go. But I think what we want to do is make sure that that bar goes through, obviously, the spring. And there we go. Now, the bottom of the spring has a hook. Again, I don't think you can see that very well, but I'm sure we have to hook this onto something down here. All right, well, I just hooked it onto those bars that moved. It seems to be fine. Here is the power cord that connects to the control unit. All this stuff is actually upside down here, which is kind of interesting. And usually, it faces front or back. But I guess that's probably going to help us when we need to get to everything. Let's go ahead and feed the power cord down into the body. Okay, so on the control unit here, obviously the power is going into one slot. There is a volume control and an on-off foot pad configuration. I'm going to go ahead and turn this so that we can put on this back panel now, just so we can really start getting the effect. It's got a couple of pegs here that go into a couple of cylinders through these holes in the fabric. So that, again, was a little bit of a challenge. Everything here fits very, very snugly and taut, but doesn't look like it's going anywhere, so that's good. And we have our box taking shape. Really love the way that this is looking so far. Let's go ahead and put the head on. I absolutely adore this head. It is so creepy. It does come with a little bit of costuming, though, so we need to take care of that first. He's got his frilly collar. The collar does have a sensor on it so that it can work, through the IR sensor. I assume we're going to want to make sure that stays in front. It's easy to Velcro together. There's a lot of Velcro strips on the head itself. Let's go ahead and try and get this thing on. While I'm doing this, I can tell that there are a couple of cables, a red and a black cable that we're going to need to connect to, I guess, this red and black cable here. There's also a blue cable and the IR sensor cable at the top. I don't see the blue offhand. I'm not sure what the blue is connecting to. Oh, all right. The blue connects to the control box mechanism. So there's a motor here that is going to, I think, make the whole thing move. That's going to connect to the blue, which connects to the control box, which connects to the power. All right, so we'll connect this red and black after we get this frill on. There we go. But we're not done yet. He's got a little hat. So there is the big piece of Velcro on the top of his head. There's a corresponding Velcro on the hat. Don't know if we want his... I wish there was a little bit more body to this. And there's not even any way to stuff it because the bottom has a piece of fabric covering it as well for the Velcro itself. Little disappointed in that, but maybe we can fluff it up just a little bit. So looks like it doesn't want to work. But we can have, okay, that looks wrong. So let's flip it around so it's laying toward the side of his head. There we go. Kind of creepy. Let's go ahead and put this head on. On the underside are a couple of pegs, and there's a couple of cylinders here that we're just going to connect it to. And again, we're going to connect these wires. The frill actually does a pretty good job of hiding all of that cable work there. So pretty excited about that. The only thing we have left to do now is put on his gross monster hands. We have a couple of arm mechanisms, kind of like every animatronic. We've got a couple of pegs that fit in the slots on one side. The hand will fit into these slots. And then somehow we have to figure out how this sleeve goes on. It's kind of a mess. There's a lot of Velcro, a lot of things going on right here. Not entirely sure how this is supposed to go. Might have to look at the instructions for this bit. Okay, well, the instructions were absolutely not helpful at all. So let's just go ahead and start putting it together and see if we can figure it out. All right, it looks like somehow this sleeve is supposed to come up, I guess, over this arm mechanism. And then this extra piece of square fabric, there's a couple of Velcro strips on the tops of the arms. There's a lot of Velcro on this. I don't know that I'm doing this right, but I think somehow that this Velcro is supposed to be like a back panel to him for some reason. All right, you may remember in my last video when I did an animatronic, I talked about how putting the costuming on is always my least favorite part of the entire thing. This is the case with this. Again, I don't know that you can see this, but remember that weird piece of fabric that I was talking about? It's kind of sitting here. The instructions are indecipherable. I cannot for the life of me figure out what's supposed to be going on with that. But I don't think it much matters because he looks good without it. So let's go ahead next and put on the hands. Looks like it should be pretty easy. Just going to slot into the cylinders. And we have the fabric of the sleeve that has this elastic banding on it that is going to just secure it onto the hand. There's no sort of Velcro here, it doesn't look like, which surprises me because there's like 800 pieces of Velcro on the other side. Let me go ahead and put this other hand on. There we go. I absolutely love the way he's reaching out. Very, very creepy. Okay, before we go ahead and turn him on, let me go ahead and bring the camera in and we'll take a closer look. The detail on this face is absolutely amazing. There's something about the finish with the cracks, the weathered look, the red, that just screams scary, creepy, abandoned carnival. And that's exactly the atmosphere that we are trying to emulate. The eyeballs have a gleam in them, those little white bits as well, just sort of emphasize and makes it look realistic, much more so than a lot of props. The teeth, again, also weathered. It looks like it could be made of wood. It was painted at one time, and it has just aged and is super creepy. The hat, again, I'm not thrilled. It won't stand up. The fabric is well worn. The pictures on the advertisements make it look like it's standing up, so maybe we'll figure out how to do that. You've got some aging effects on the fabric of his outfit, and the spring hair is lacking those same aging effects, but that doesn't detract too much. The box is the same on all four sides. It's got Jack in the box, of course. And then we have the hands. Again, kind of looks like it's scratched up old wood. Or is it? Maybe they are real hands for this creepy, creepy Jack-in-the-Box clown. The IR sensor is right there on the front of his collar. And we can lift up his collar to get to the mechanisms. Again, down there is a volume, on-off, and sensor button. All right, now it's time for the moment of truth. I've got him plugged in. I think he's on the IR sensor. Let's go ahead and see.
Every haunted house needs a couple old rusty toys to give a little deathly atmosphere. I'm good for a quiet, gloomy home. Or a really loud one!
I absolutely love that sort of creepy Jack-in-the-Box music. I have a nice eerie take on it.
I remember when you were little, there were so many things that you were so afraid of. What a little crybaby! I'll find you in your dreams and conjure up some new things to be afraid of.
He certainly is menacing, isn't he? Let's go ahead and tilt him a little to the side.
I like my little tune, don't you? It starts out quiet, and then, it surprises the pants off you. I love this job.
I mean, look how much he reaches out. He is very, very three-dimensional.
Let's put a smile on that face of yours. Smiles or screams, either way works for me.
All right, you know that's the last phrase when it's all just the laughing. That seems to be something Home Depot does. At least he has 5 different sayings, or 4, and the laughing, so that's pretty good. You may have noticed his eyes lit up as well. I really usually don't like light up eyes, but I don't hate them in this instance. I just wish there were a way to keep them lit so that when he's not moving, it doesn't just like turn on and off. Or, you know, they have a lot of those sort of LCD eyes now, I think, and those constantly be moving and looking around. That would put this prop over the top. I love that. But overall, he's very menacing, very creepy, and I love him. I think he's going to work great. So in my haunt, if you've watched my previous walkthroughs, you know, I have a garage party zone, and I'm going to put the Funhouse inflatable in front of the garage door where people are going to have to walk through. I'm going to do another video review on that. I have done video review on it before years ago, but I haven't put that inflatable in my haunt since it came out several years ago. I've gotten a lot of offers on that. People love it. It's very, very creepy. It was hard to get. I'm surprised they don't have it out or sell it. I'm surprised they haven't sold it year after year, because it's just a great inflatable. But anyway, so picture it. I'm going to have the inflatable Funhouse entrance inflatable. It actually has some creepy claws reaching out of it as well. And then this guy's going to sort of be sitting in front of it off to the side, kind of like a carnival barker beckoning you into the carnival Funhouse, which is where my main decor and my other animatronics are going to be set up. So I do have some more animatronics. Like I said, I got a 2-for-1 with this guy. So we're going to be doing another review soon, and I've got to pick up a couple more. So if you have any suggestions of what kind of creepy, clownish animatronics you think would work well in my haunt this year, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And let me know what you think of this guy, because I absolutely love him. Of course, you have to be a little leery when you buy things online, like I did with Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. The condition's a little questionable. This guy is actually awfully musty, so you can tell he's been used outside probably.
Atmosphere.
He's kind of creepy even when he doesn't have any music going or sound. I like that. I might have him just constantly going with nothing but his sort of laughing nature. Anyway, as I was saying, gonna have to Lysol him or something just to get kind of the mustiness out. But I'm gonna have him outside too, so he's just gonna get even mustier. So it doesn't bother me too much, but I kind of want to leave him up for a while. We still have a while till Halloween, but I think he can make some fun decor around the place just to keep me excited and keep me going with my DIY projects. I'm making an interesting sort of step right up sign. If you're part of my Patreon team, you can be watching that project come together. So speaking of which, I did want to say a special thank you before we go to all of the patrons who help support the channel. If you are interested in joining our Fright Club, you can check out the link to my Patreon page in the description below and kind of keep tabs on what's going on, because I can't do videos on every project that I do, especially because some of them take so long to do, like the sign that I'm working on. But you can keep tabs on my project progress over on my Patreon page. That's going to do it for today. So thank you everyone for watching. Be sure you are subscribed if you want to see more animatronic reviews, product reviews, DIYs, and pretty soon some store walkthroughs. So till then, thanks for watching everyone. Take care and happy haunting.